Hey y'all, I know it's been a while. It's been a really rainy, wet summer down here on the Gulf Coast, and right now I'm in Mobile, Alabama, and Hurricane Michael is hitting the coast of Florida. It's a couple hundred miles from where I live. In fact, I barely got a breeze outside the window here at my house. Haven't had any rain from it. I'm leaving today to go back to work in southern Louisiana for a week, and I'm actually taking the motorcycle because heading west, the weather's not looking bad, and once the storm passes, actually the weather pattern for us for the next week is going to be really nice. And part of the reason I haven't ridden so much in the wet weather this summer that I normally would have ridden in, without any hesitation on my V-Star, the Eluder has a shorter windshield on it. And in fact, I bought the next size up windshield for it, the only next size they make for it, a medium windshield. And it's still, for my taste, I find it a little bit too low for me. The top of the windshield probably comes to about here on me when I'm looking over it. And I prefer to wear a half helmet for the majority of my riding. And over the years, that's really all I've owned was a half helmet. On my V-Star 1300, the original windshield that came with it was very tall. In fact, it probably was well over my eyes. I looked through it I was probably 2.5, 3 inches below the top of the windshield looking through it. And for me, that wasn't a problem because I could reach up with my fingertips and clear the top of the windshield, if there was moisture or any dirt from the road on it. And I didn't have a problem with that at all. For a while, I was wearing some goggles. I'd take my glasses off and put on the goggles in the really rainy weather, and that was okay too, because my prescription, even though technically it's on my license, I'm supposed to have prescription eyewear on. I don't do contacts because they tend to bother me after about 6 or 8 hours. I can't wear them extended like a lot of people do. So I wore the goggles because I could still get by without having my glasses on, and that worked pretty good. But after a while, even that strap around your head with the helmet on, that strap would leave kind of a hot spot on me, so it'd start to get irritating after a while. And in fact, some sunglasses I've worn in the past tend to do that too with the helmet on. So that's the reason I haven't ridden as much this summer, because of that. The windshield really didn't provide quite as much protection for me in weather. And even on a clear day on the highway, there's a lot of road debris, rocks, and bugs, especially down here in the south. I had an instance where a bee got caught between the strap and the side of my face. Luckily, the first one, he died on impact. The second one, I was able to clear him out before he got too irritated and stung me. That could have been a real bad day. So I started looking around at other helmets. For years, this is the helmet I wore. It's a skid lid. I actually had 2 of these. They were matching. This mount here on top is for a Sony Action Cam. And this is really what I preferred to wear. This one, I don't remember what size it is anymore. I want to say it was a medium. Anyway, I had 2 of these identical. I wore them for 5 years. I'd swap them out. I really liked it, for its minimal size. Here in Alabama, we're required to wear a helmet. In Florida, they are not required to, but Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, they're all required states for helmet. So that's what I went with, and I really liked it. But like I said, the windshield on my other bike was taller, so I never had any issues with getting hit in the face with debris or bugs, or even a hard rain wasn't really an issue. And then when I bought the Eluder, actually as I was buying the Eluder, actually before I even had it, I started looking around for new helmets, because the recommended practice is after 5 years you should get a new helmet. The interior foam that these are made out of, after time it does break down, it shrinks a little bit, so they're not ideal. And this one, the skid lids in particular, you can't take the liner out to wash them separately, so they get kind of funky. And I went back and forth between 2 of them, so they're probably not quite as funky as one of them would have been after 5 years. Still, funky enough. So I started looking around for new helmets. And like I said, I like a half helmet. The idea of wearing a full face helmet, to me, I wasn't keen on it. I felt like it cut down on my peripheral vision a little too much, maybe. And then coming down over my ears, I had a problem with, sound deadening. I thought, if I can't see a vehicle in my rear view mirrors or in my mirrors, with a full face, then I at least want to be able to hear them. And I felt like it was cutting down on the sound too much for my liking. So I really didn't want to go that route. So what I ended up getting, actually, and I think I did this online 2 or 3 different times with one of the online merchants, where I saw a helmet I liked, so I ordered it, had it shipped to me at work, tried it on, didn't like the way it fit, sent it back. I tried on, there's a Bell helmet, and I don't recall the name of it right now, but it's got the adjustable head strap on the inside of it, where there's a knob on the back so you can make it looser or tighter to fit your noggin better. I thought that was going to be a real winner. Put it on. I didn't like that thing in the back. It limited the amount I could raise my head before it got uncomfortable, and I felt like it was keeping my head and chin down too much. So that one got sent back, and I tried a couple other ones that I thought looked like they would work good. I ended up getting the HJC Cruiser, which, if you're not familiar, it's the same helmet that Harley Davidson sells. HJC makes the same helmet, only for Harley they put the Harley badging on it, and for their line they have just their badge, HJC. It's got this little bit of a visor on the front, and then it also has an internal drop-down shield visor, sun visor. There, I guess you can see that. And I thought, oh, that's really nice. Now it does come down over the ears a little bit. And I thought, well, let me try it and see how that works. I liked it. You can see on the front here, I have the mount for my GoPro. That's what I've been recording. This is the helmet I used to record my more recent videos once I picked up the Eluder. Everything since the Eluder has been done with this helmet and the GoPro Hero 4 Silver. The skid lids, when I was recording earlier videos, that was with the Sony Action Cam. Because of the way it's designed, it sat better up on top of the helmet. The GoPro Hero 4 sat, above my eye line, kind of on the front of the helmet, and it caused a bit of an issue for me because my prescription sunglasses, let me grab those real quick. All right, my prescription sunglasses are a heavier frame, right? And with the helmet on, the brow of the helmet with the added weight of the GoPro kind of rested right here on the top of my glasses, and it would start to put pressure on the ridge of my nose. After a couple of hours in the saddle with that extra weight, that started to really kind of bug me after a while. So I kept looking around. And in fact, the drop-down visor, let me take these back off. Let me put my regular glasses back on. That drop-down visor, although it's kind of nice, it doesn't get in the way of my glasses when they're on. But the bottom edge of it, because it's a little bit further out away from your face, the bottom edge of it was a little bit higher into my sight line than I really cared for. It wasn't as nice in the end as it could be. So I didn't really use it all that often. In fact, the only times I really used it were, when the rain was coming down hard, I'd drop it down to try to get just a little bit more protection. But the way the air circulates over the top of the windshield on the Eluder, and the water droplets, and then there's this burble of air behind it, well, they'd come over the top and then come up underneath the windshield, or the drop-down visor shield. So then you get water on the inside, not only on the inside of the visor, but on the glasses as well, which isn't as easy to clear off. On the Eluder, if things got on my glasses, I could kind of lean out into the slipstream and blow that moisture off of my glasses. But this was getting on the inside, not ideal. So, I did that now for about 4 or 5 months with that helmet. I have another half helmet that I bought. This is a, what's this, G-Max? Yeah, G-Max. And it's, it's similar to the HJC in its design. It doesn't come over the ears. This one sits above the ears. It does have a little bit of a visor over the front for the sun beating down on you, which is nice. And it also has a drop-down visor. Now, I bought those two helmets roughly at the same time. This is the kind of helmet I prefer to ride around town. If I'm running up to the store, not going to be on the highway for long periods, this is really what I prefer to wear. Which is very almost identical to the skid lid. The one thing this has that the skid lid didn't have that I really like is this little bit of a visor on the front edge. When the sun's beating down, it provides just enough of a shadow over your nose. You're not getting sunburned as easily. I like it. I really do like this a lot. But, putting on the GoPro, trying to put a boom microphone on this and trying to record things, it's almost impossible to do and make it sound good. So I ended up this last Friday. We have a cycle gear store here in Mobile, fairly close. So, and the nice thing about cycle gear was I could go inside and I could try on several different makes and models of full face and modular helmets. I ended up buying a modular. I kind of like that idea a little better. It took some effort to really figure out how to get the GoPro on there where it wouldn't be in the way, and then get I used the Sena SMH 1011 communicator. I had to kind of work on getting the microphone in a good spot where when I brought the front of the face shield down, it wasn't pinching it or getting in the way. So this is what I got. This is a Bilt brand. Let me pull this down. All right, it's a Bilt brand. It's got a clear outside visor. It does actually also have an internal sun visor that pops down, and I've popped it down a few times with my glasses on, and this one actually, I like where it sits in front of my face. It's the bottom edge of it isn't a distraction like it was on the other two helmets. Probably most of the time I'll have my prescription sunglasses on, so I won't really use that. But it's there if for whatever reason I have my regular glasses on and it brightens up and I want to have a little bit of sun shading. So that's there. It's got one mouth vent on the chin guard area, and then it's got one one top vent over your head that comes to a couple of exit vents on the back side of the helmet. I rode it home from Cycle Gear when I bought it, which is only, I think I rode maybe 2 or 3 miles getting home. It was a pretty warm day. I didn't feel overheated in it. When I'd stop at a light, I would crack the front visor open a little bit, just to get a little bit of air circulating through there more. I didn't feel like I was overheating at all, but I'll tell you, when I got home and took it off, the back of my head was just soaking wet with sweat, which, it's probably common. It was over 90 degrees, high humidity. Like I said, typically around town, running around, I'll be wearing that G-Max half helmet. If I'm not recording, the G-Max is the helmet I will wear and prefer to wear. But for long distance highway riding and recording, this is the helmet now that I'll be using. And boy, I tell you what, I really had to mess around with how I was going to mount that GoPro. You can see there are quite a few little extensions and pieces on there to get it really in the front of the helmet, where it would be looking in the right direction, and then also able to angle it up in the right direction, because the first time I tried it, I couldn't get it angled up enough, and it would have been looking down at the tank or the dashboard at the least on the bike. So I had to mess around with it again, and I think now I've got it in a good spot, and it's not in the way when I'm looking through the visor. It's I can see it, but it's not blocking my view in any way. So I think we're going to be good there. But again, I apologize. I haven't been on as much as I really kind of wanted to over the last couple of months. I also had a problem with my laptop. It crashed. I had to reboot Windows on it. didn't quite get everything back to working right on it. I bought a different video editing software that I bought as a digital download online. It wasn't working for me as well as the Windows Movie Maker had in the past, but Windows Movie Maker isn't supported anymore and you can't get it. So I tried that new one. It literally took over 24 hours to save a 20-minute video. It was ridiculous. I have since bought Vegas, I think that's the name, Vegas 15. I haven't actually used it yet. I've got it on the laptop, so this video will be the first time I use that. And I'm really hoping that it doesn't take 24 hours to save a video. You know, and that was 24 hours just to save it after spending, you know, a couple of hours maybe editing everything and getting it situated to save. So I'm really hoping this Vegas 15 works much better. And you'll know if it does by the time this video gets posted.
Okay. Hopefully this sounds okay to you. Maybe a little bit of an echo because I'm now inside a helmet. Sounds weird to me just a little bit. Hopefully it's recording okay. Okay, bike's packed up. I'm ready to hit the road. I'm gonna have to stop at a gas station here before I get on the highway. Although that gauge is showing almost 3/4 of a tank. I know that's not right. I've got 154 miles on that tank of gas already. So anyway, hopefully this is sounding good, looking good. The weather actually, I don't know if you can see it, there's just a slight breeze here right now. That hurricane did nothing for us over here. It's overcast, but no serious winds at all. Now, what you can see probably now is the windshield in front of the camera. That's because of the location of the camera now on my helmet being down, you know, in front of my mouth area versus up above my eyebrows. So I'm not sure how that's going to look on camera. All right, I can tell already the added amount of weight hanging off the front of this helmet is not real cool. I didn't notice that when I had it on the other day before I mounted the camera to it. Hopefully that's not going to be a real problem now. I do have my windshield up. Let me see how that sounds. Oh, that sounds even more enclosed, doesn't it? Big difference. All right, I may have to play around with this a little bit after listening to this audio, see what I need to do to change things around some. Hard to tell now until I get it on video and listen to it in playback. I'm not used to being able to hear myself talk quite so clearly. Well, all right, I'm not sure how well this is going to work. The added weight of this camera hanging off the front is really kind of noticeable. And it is bringing the brow of the helmet down to rest on my sunglasses again. So that is going to be a long-term problem. You know, right now, no big deal, but I just got on the road. I mean, I'm not even out to the interstate yet. I can't imagine having that extra weight hanging on there for about 3 hours. So I think before I get onto the highway, I'm going to have to, probably when I stop for gas, I'm going to pull this camera off of here. I can't do this. That's too much weight hanging off the front, putting pressure on the bridge of my nose from my sunglasses. Well, crap. That is frustrating. You know, maybe I should have done a full-face non-modular helmet. But still, I'd still be dealing with the same weight issue on the front. That's irritating, frustrating. I'm not sure what to do about all that.
Okay, well, I'm sitting here at work now. It's Sunday afternoon. Things are a little slow, but obviously you can see in the video that that setup just isn't going to work for me. It puts too much weight on the front of the helmet, pulls it down, and makes it rest on the top of my sunglasses. So I'm going to have to come up with something different. I have an idea that I may put the GoPro up on top of the helmet. I know it looks ridiculous. It sticks out like a sore thumb. But if you look at some of my older videos where I used the Sony Action Cam on top of the skid lid, I actually don't think the perspective is all that bad. I think it actually turns out really good. So that might be the only option I really have in order to disperse the weight of the camera, evenly across the helmet, and not have it hanging off the front of my face like I had it on this last go around. So anyway, look, y'all, thank you for sticking with me. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you hope to see some more stuff coming from me, subscribe, hit the little bell icon. That way you'll be notified anytime something new gets posted. But I really appreciate it. And keep the shiny side up. Ride safe, y'all. Peace and love. Later.